Hello, and welcome to episode 14 of Scars of Disorder.
Hello. How are you, Danny?
Oh, swell, swimmingly.
Mm.
Swimmingly swell. Swelling.
Swelming.
Swellingly.
Don't go swimming if that's your medical condition.
Yeah, you should get that checked out. I don't know
Yes,
if you're
puff
supposed
off like a riser whenever I swim, man. It's crazy. I had like a very cool banter question
Okay.
that I was thinking of all day, and I took a nap right before, like we dreamed. It's completely escaped me. I have no idea what the heck to talk about.
Are the rest of you nappers? I know that there's some people that like do not nap at all.
Goodness, no. If I take a nap, it is going to like take me out for the rest of the day. I will be extremely groggy and like incoherent, irritable, all these things. It would be like I didn't nap, but I did. So I lose time and then I get all the negative side effects. So I just have to power through.
How long are you napping for though?
I would say between 30 minutes and 2 hours, depending.
That's your problem. 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes. That's it. That's all you need.
Okay, I'll tell my sleeping body.
Please tell your sleeping body.
Tell your
10,
sleeping
20
body.
That's it.
Make your sleeping body listen.
No, they're actually like that is same as right. Like that's a thing. Like the grogginess. It's called sleep inertia. And it like depending on if you sleep longer, if you take a nap for longer, it takes you longer to like wake up, and you probably won't feel the effects of it until an hour later. But if you take like a 10-20 minute nap, boom, just enough energy to get through the rest of the day.
I don't know. I just support the caffeine industry.
There you go. I nap almost every day, I think, except now that I have to go to the work into the office, I don't as much. But when I was working straight from home, I was napping every day.
Just really in touch with your inner toddler.
Oh, naps are wasted on kids. Can we say that? I wish I could just sleep all the time.
Yeah, no, naps are. I nap on very rare occasion, but like when I need it, I do it. Like today, I was like, I need a nap, so I just absolutely wiped out for like 20 minutes on this couch right next to me. It's beautiful.
There you go.
I
think it also depends on the type of person you are. Like if you have cultivated a lifestyle where you are like a nighttime person and you have like an industry or a job or whatever that like involves going out at night and being present in the nighttime hours, then like I think naps are like essential to functioning. But if you're like a normie like me who would rather be online on Friday nights, then no naps necessary.
I love it. What about you, Monroe? You napper?
Yeah, I believe in them.
Oh.
I think for some people, obviously not for all people, but it's definitely needed. And I agree with the whole 20-minute nap. But you know,
that's all you need.
Yeah.
That's what I was told. Like all you really need is just 20 minutes, but I never keep it at 20.
Yeah, I mean it's so hard, right? Because when are you like when I lay down or when I actually fall asleep? Well, I can't time when I actually fall asleep, so
exactly.
I'm gonna go a little over 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I have to scroll for at least 45 minutes on my phone.
Yeah, it's a whole process.
I am not that. I'm someone who could lay down and like instantly fall asleep.
So you can time falling asleep, right?
Like, I mean, yeah, a little bit, but not like. I can't be like, all right, I've fallen asleep 20 minutes from right now. You know what I mean? Because I'm asleep. I can't set an alarm for 20 minutes.
And our friend Nick here just woke up from a nap.
That's not true.
If you're watching on Twitch, his screen was
lie
off.
to the listeners.
Well, no, his camera was napping.
Nick never sleeps.
I've never seen Nick sleep. Even when we went to Gen Con, he had his own room. And
Actually-
I never saw him sleep.
I haven't seen. Oh, I was gonna say you've seen. I was gonna say the art. Simon Monroe, personally, we've never seen sleep.
It's true. I think the only person I've seen sleep is Danny.
Danny, I've seen sleep a lot.
Danny
Yeah.
sleeps
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, and I've seen. I've never mind.
No, what were you?
I was
Yeah, you
gonna
gotta
say.
finish that
I was
sentence.
gonna say. I've seen Justin sleep. I've heard Nick sleep.
True.
Uh,
I have
good, though.
sleep apnea.
Oh man.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not a joke.
That's
I mean, it seems comedic if you hear it.
Mhm.
It's like that can't be real.
Depending.
Mhm.
Like if you can fall asleep, I guess like if you keep people up at night, it's not that comedic.
I don't know. You got me worried now. Like,
Oh, I have
Yeah.
a CPAP now, so
Okay.
I don't even really snore anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The choking
Like
was
the app.
annoying.
Yeah, that's what's scary
Yeah.
when you
Mhm.
hear it. It's like a right?
Yep.
You're just like,
Yeah.
what happened?
That's why you need.
The worst
that.
part is when you wake up in the middle of that, so it feels like you just can't breathe, and you're
Oh.
like
Ugh.
Oh, it's gonna be hard.
coming in consciousness, just completely like, oh, I'm dying. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
No, I had this.
good.
I had this friend who was like, "What? What's the point of CPAP machines? They're longer than the snore. They're louder than the snoring." And I was like, "The
Well, there.
point of the machines isn't to stop the snoring.
Yeah, they
It's
can
to stop them
sometimes.
from dying."
That is accurate though. They aren't supposed to stop the snoring. It's
Yeah,
not their
yeah.
design. But it just happened to do so for me, which is pretty cool.
Mhm. Nice.
So what does it
Yeah.
feel like when you wake up from something like that? Is like your throat dry or something, or just like
Oh yeah, constantly.
Ugh.
is your heart
Yeah.
like beating fast or
When you wake up, usually your heart's beating fast. If you're still literally choking, then it's like you're choking. You're waking up choking. But yeah, it's like I would get the thing. I think it's pretty common for people who like smoke like cigars or something, where your throat gets really like puffy. And
Yeah.
your, like uvula gets like really like inflamed. But that would just like happen to me.
so like sports champions.
Yeah, sure. I don't know any of those.
Anything common among
Yeah,
sports champions?
Yeah, that's there.
New fathers.
I did smoke a cigar with
Inflamed.
my brother when he announced his.
Oh, because they smoke cigars. I thought just like a side effect of being a sports champion is an inflamed uvula. I was very confused. I think you said new father, and I was like, okay, now I'm very confused.
What is the tie between these groups, Sam?
It's just Danny trying to hook it all together.
And I'm like, whoa.
we should
Well-
just start throwing out random groups of people just to throw Danny off even more. Clowns in college.
Skateboarders who rent.
Reminds me of that John Mulaney stand up where he's talking about Ice-T.
Yeah.
He bring up these examples and he's like, good. Well, speaking of waking up with your heart beating fast, I'm sure all of our young heroes' hearts are beating real fast because they don't know what's happening around them. Don't know what's happening around them,
Nice
much like
transition.
how when you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't know what's happening around you.
your segues are
ready?
getting better and better.
Thank you.
It was good.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna start grading your transitions.
Please don't. Please
No, don't. It's not good for him.
So if y'all want to open up your ears, close your eyes, and hop onto the thought train with me. That's THOUGHT. Let's go. Previously on Scars of Disorder, our young benders agreed to help the Balu Spiral and Monk Gyempson clear out a group of Dao Fei known as the Ghost Tigers from a spiritual site protected by the Great Spirit Wrong. After following Gamson into the site, the Singing Path, a massive network of canyons and stone mazes, the mysterious monk told our heroes that they must now lead the way through the path. But complications arose as Ling Rong is now separated from the rest of the group after experiencing a vision from her past. Now, the rest of the crew must press on in hopes of finding the ghost tigers and Ling, and drive the Dao Fei out. We open on the scene of Haru, Mei, Teto, and Gyemtsen standing before the now unfogged hallway they just came down, revealing a brand new stone wall there. I'm leaving them with really no choice but to continue following where Teto's wind is taking him, which is now blowing through the new entryway that Haru has opened up.
Through
I
there,
think I'm
Teto?
going to try to. Good.
I was just gonna ask, through there, Teto?
Yeah. We've got to go through. And Teto's going to walk through the entry.
I'll look to May. May, what do you think?
Gibson follows after Teto.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was off for a second. After he asked me that, I'm just gonna walk in.
All right. Pressing on forward, I guess.
This entryway that you guys are walking into, it is Haru. It is the entryway where you heard the sound of a biwa being played. And as you guys step into this entryway, the walls and the vines around you, where they were sort of like shaking and wriggling, as you step into this entryway, they begin to cease and calm a bit more now. And as the shaking, almost earthquake-esque shaking and the wriggling of the vines cease, you again hear the faint sound of a biwa being played somewhere in this maze.
Is that only audible to Haru?
Yes, only Haru can hear this.
And I was just about to ask, any of you hear that?
Hear what?
It's and I'll unsling the biwa around and maybe like pluck the same tune. It's that. There's someone's playing in here.
Teto will turn to Gemsen and say, Haru's a talented musician.
Oh,
No.
that's very nice to hear. It could be someone else in the maze. It could also be something else, but I mean, as I said, the ghost tigers are here. There might be another Balu incursion here, so it is strange how neither Teto nor I hear it. May, do you hear this?
Nope. Not at
it's-
all.
That's concerning.
Yeah. So, and Haru, it almost seems it's so faint now where you almost could like think like maybe I am just like
Yeah.
hearing this, you know?
Yeah.
But it was very clear before you opened that entryway in the wall.
It could just be my mind playing tricks on me. I
Haru,
don't really hear right now.
Haru, like, I think you might be onto something. Like, back there before the wall closed, I saw my father. My father's dead, Haru.
Teto has wandered forward with Gemsen, and he doesn't hear this.
Yeah, I think at this, anytime you guys are like stopped for longer than like a sentence, you will notice that Teto and Gibson had just moved on. You know?
Okay. All right. May, we've already lost Lingrung. Tedo seems like he's busy. We just got to make sure we stay together. The rest of us. We'll find Lingrung if we keep moving forward. I think. I hope. Spirits, I hope that works. All right. You look out for me. I'll look out for you. We'll both look out for Tedo. Deal?
Yeah. Deal.
All right.
As you guys follow Teto, with Teto following the wind, it seems like a ton of time passes. You guys you can't really tell exactly how long you've just been navigating through this network of mazes, following like this superficial wind that Teto has said that he's felt on him, right? But eventually you come to a turn and the floor in this hallway just goes straight down into like the abyss. Like you look down and there's just a hole, and about 20 feet across, that's where the hallway continues. But there's just this massive hole blocking your path, and Tetra, the wind is further nudging you in that direction.
I think we go across. Gemson, watch this. And Teto is going to try to use airbending to push himself over and across the hole, sort of taking the lesson from ascending over the wall that he learned earlier from her.
Okay. Yeah, so you're just trying to not so much air step, but more so just like push yourself over the hole.
Yeah, it's like a big fart.
I love it. All right. This is a risky situation, I think. Give me a push your luck.
I will. I rolled a 10, and then I am. Do I get anything to that? What is that? Passion.
Passion.
Oh, yeah. So 11.
Nice. So you do it. It still costs you to scrape by, but your bonus pays off, and there's a lucky opportunity.
Gimson, did you see that?
So I think what it costs you to scrape by. Let me think of a cost. So you run up and you jump and like you blast air behind you to make your way across this pit that's now in the hole. The cost can't be you falling, because that would have been your failure. And I'm having trouble here. Does anyone have any suggestions?
Hole gets wider.
Hole gets wider. Something's on the other side.
Something comes out of the hole.
Something comes out of the hole, and is in between us and Teto.
Was never a hole.
Has a fart attack.
I like that.
Smells really bad. Smells really bad.
Here's what happens. Teto goes to jump over this hole, and it looks very cool. Teto, like very cool. Even Gamson for a moment feels like, ooh, this is cool. But almost like in response to jumping over this hole, in like a split second, we as the audience can feel something rumbling from the abyss as these massive, much like the vines that you've seen before, but these ones are massive, almost the diameter of like whole like trees, come jutting out of the abyss, almost hitting you, Teto. But you make it across on the other side. But these vines are continuing to just come up from the abyss at risk of cutting you guys off. In response to this, Gamson makes her way across the hole, almost like air stepping from side to side on the vines, avoiding them. But if this is continuing to happen, and if action isn't taken, Harume, you guys will be cut off.
Can you describe what's around us?
It's basically just the stone walls
Just the stone wall.
of the maze.
There's no vines or nothing.
The only vines at this point are maybe there's some like moss and small vines
Mhm.
like on the walls, but the only like vines of like substance are the ones that are jutting out of the pit and
Okay.
about to block your way.
Can I burn some of those vines that are blocking us?
I like it. Yeah.
Would that be like
Give
a
me a.
Yeah.
I think because these are massive vines and they seem to almost be like less vines, more like bamboo, but like thick bamboo. Give me a push your luck.
Okay. All right, it's an 11.
Yeah. So what do you do like in the fiction? Do you just like let out like a flamethrower fire blast or
Yeah, just like a blast of just flames to catch as many vines as possible.
yeah. So this all happens very fast. Tato goes to jump across this, and all of a sudden these massive like basically trees come jutting out of this pit as Gamson then goes, oh shoot, acts fast, goes to jump within them, try to get through, and not even a split second after that, May just goes to set ablaze these vines. You let out just this massive plume of fire, and the vines seem to react to that. So like they almost seem to like be alive as some of them like recede. You also hear that shrieking once again that you heard in the jungle not too long ago, like almost like the earth around you is like shrieking in response to this. You also hear a yelp and a thud on the other side as Techo on the other side, you see Gamson emerge from these vines and land and tumble in front of you on the other side as you see a massive portion of her upper torso and her arm is just scorched.
Oh my gosh, Gimson, are you okay? Oh my! And he's gonna take her and pull her away from the pit and away from the fire.
But yes, at this point, May and Haru, the vines recede,
Okay.
but not all the way, and they almost form like this like thick like brush where this pit once was. So you can probably like climb your way across, but you got to be careful because you're still like at risk of falling. But now it's like it's more navigationable. But you also see on the ground on the other side Gamsen on the floor and Techo going to her care. I really want to quick get to Teto's lucky opportunity. Before the first thing you notice, but before you couldn't really have much time to respond to this because these vines started jutting out from the pit. But as you jumped and air blasted yourself, you got a little bit of like a higher like vantage point, and a little bit in the distance, you saw what looks like plumes of smoke arising from somewhere else in this maze network.
And I would be able to sort of pinpoint where.
Yeah, you could
from.
probably,
Okay.
Yeah. But I want to see what May and Haru do real quick.
May, I don't trust that. And I'll start pulling like steps from the walls, basically, that we can walk on.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting about this is as you try to pull out steps from the walls, they do, but they don't come out as much, almost like the earth is fighting you. And they come out like just like a little bit, you know, like almost like just barely enough space for your feet to even step on. You can still step on them, but it's almost like I said, like the walls that this maze is made of is like fighting against your bending.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. That's the best I can do. So the steps or stand on the vines.
Danny, did May see that she burnt what was her name?
Gamson.
Give me
Yeah, I
some
think
O's.
you can put. I think you can piece it together.
Okay. How I didn't mean.
Hey, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah, but
You're acting on instinct, right?
what if I wasn't? Like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt her, but like, what if I don't.
We would have been cut off then, May. You kept us together.
Okay. So I take a step.
All right. Yeah, it's almost like if you're just using the now gnarled like vines and brush, it's almost like horizontally climbing a tree, you know? Like you're sort of like you have to go on all fours to like navigate across there. And how are you just using the small steps that you made?
Correct.
Yeah. So man, I wish there were group actions in this game. That'd be great. I think I just need. I don't think this is. I think at this point these are just rely on your skills and trainings.
Okay.
Because I feel like Haru's pretty skilled in, you know, balancing his body and like because he was basically an assassin, right? So so he's probably done things like this before.
Yeah.
And I'm sure May's climbed a tree. So I think these are just rely on your skills and trainings from the both of you.
Is it 12 for me?
So you want us both to roll?
Yeah, and add focus.
Oh, how much is my focus? Let's see this.
Oh, it's -1.
I got a 5.
All right.
Plus the focus, so I don't know.
That's just a GM move.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, 5 plus focus? You haven't added your
Yeah.
focus yet?
Haven't
Oh,
added
so it's
it.
4. Sorry, 4.
Yeah.
All right. How are you start to make it across? And you're like oh, like this isn't. I think you got a little nervous as you saw how little space the steps left for you. But you start to make it across, but you hear like the crack of like a twig. As you turn around, you see May is struggling, and she's starting to walk across. As you see the gnarled vines begin to recede even more and lower, as almost in an instant, the vines just shatter like Lincoln logs as May pummels into the abyss.
I jump in after her and try and grab her hand.
We cut to Ling Krong.
Okay.
What
this
are
is
you
going
doing?
Very well. Everything's good. Everything's fine. I'm going to find all my friends. I'm going to leave this horrible place. Everything's okay. She's like basically gone in circles probably for like an hour. I don't know, however long they've been gone. She's like walking very quickly. Like almost a panicked run, but like trying not to. So just a very fast-paced walk.
I love it. I love it. Are you basically at this point just blindly just navigating the maze? Or are you trying to use something to help?
She has no ideas for the maze. She is just
I love
moving. She just keeps telling herself that they have to just be like ahead. And so she just keeps moving.
I love it so much. Yeah, I think there are some points where like you're walking and you turn and you're met with another just like wall of that like thick white mist.
Now, and then she just
You
turns
turn the other way. Yeah. And that we just see this like almost like montage of Ling navigating this maze. And then again runs into like turns like down a fork and there's just a thick white mist
Still no.
and
Just
turns
turns.
away. And then as this montage just progresses, May being met with those walls of thick white mist just becomes more and more frequent. Where you come into this fork where it juts out in like 6 different directions and down every single path. It just, you can't see through it because there's just that thick mist. And if you turn around behind you, even the path that you just came from is just enveloped in that thick white mist.
This place sucks. Okay, everything's fine. Gonna be fine.
And at this point, you hear not like a rumble that we've heard like with like the almost earthquake ass shakes before, but you hear like a deep groan as you see dust begins falling above you. And as you look above, there's just this massive, you almost think it's a tree just moving above you, but it's just this deep green, like scaled serpentine figure that darkens the sky above you as it just seems to be moving right on top of the walls of the maze.
Who is that? The spirit, or is it going to eat me?
Do you say that out loud?
Yes, she says that out loud. I mean, she doesn't say it super loud, but she says it out loud.
You whisper that, and it stops moving.
Shit.
As it starts moving again, and you still see this like massive serpentine figure, or part of its body moving above you, but then you turn around, and behind you, you also hear rumbling, like the rest of it is in the maze behind you, but you can't see past the mist. Do you get what I'm saying?
Is it like the tail dragging behind in the maze?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is this serpentine figure has to be so massive that a part of it is above you right now, and after it heard you, it's now in the maze. Coming up behind you, or rather coming up the path that you have just came from.
Okay, mist or giant snake. Mist or giant snake.
Love that game.
Oh, that game's such a good game.
Really didn't like the mist. All right, snake it is. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So
but as she says that, she will pull out her water and start streaming it around herself. Her bending water.
Okay. Preparation.
Yeah, it is not the same as her usual mist cloak.
I love it. So you do this as you're just looking at this like just wall of white mist. As you hear this massive figure getting closer and closer to you guys, just scraping against the floor and the stone walls.
You made the right choice. Stick with it.
And the mist in front of you, you also see begins getting closer to you, almost as if this creature is just veiling itself in this mist.
Okay, it's both. It's both. Great.
When suddenly you find yourself just fully engulfed in this white mist. You can only see just in front of you, maybe the floor just at your feet, barely. As you like try to like catch your vision, like it's almost like before, like when you close your eyes. Imagine if you were to close your eyes, it's all like white, like you're just in a white room rather than black. When in the distance, almost like just materializing in view a little bit, you see this white figure, and you hear that as it gets closer and closer to you, and this figure reveals itself to be a moth, or the form of a moth. As it gets closer and closer to you, you see that there's just this massive form of a moth that takes up the entire just hallway as it stops about 10 feet in front of you.
You're beautiful. Can you help me? Is that possible? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you going to eat me? Please don't.
And you begin to hear wind, like whistling around you, right? Almost like the wind's just traveling through the networks of hallways and turns in this maze. And the wind, as it's blowing around your ears, and turns and almost materializes into this soft voice as you hear, Ingram, you've lost your friends. As this figure gets closer and closer to you and lifts up a little bit, almost as like a cobra, as you see that this moth is the head of this darkish green serpentine figure. And it's just, you see it just like sort of swaying a little bit, almost like a cobra does when a snake charmer is charming them. And you hear, how will you get back to them?
Well, I was planning on asking you. I don't know how helpful you plan on being. I don't want to be presumptuous. I assume you are a spirit.
I am, in fact, a spirit. But I cannot show you the way. The path reveals only what you desire.
Well, I desire. Right. I would desire to see my friends. So, do I just pick it? Do I need to go into the mist? Is that what was happening there? Was I incorrect in avoiding it? I'm kind of in it now, so I suppose it doesn't matter.
The mist is not dangerous. Unless you're scared of not seeing the way. That is what you must let go of.
Can't see anything in the mist. This all seems very arbitrary. I'm just saying, like, can you just, I mean, you're gigantic. You couldn't just, like, lift me out of the...
At this point, this massive sphere just goes right in front of your face as now there's like just open-winged moth figure
Okay,
is
sorry.
in front of you. And he goes, I find you so fascinating. You and your friends.
That's heartening.
It's just like, now it just seems to be like, just like looking at you. You notice what you thought were whiskers are actually just the legs of a moth. Right now, just sort of like clicking and just like poking at your skin a little bit.
Okay, all right. That's okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. The water she was streaming splashes down around, probably splashed down around her when it like came at her. She just
Oh, okay, yeah.
didn't, like react to it. And she just, okay, that's a lot of touching. That's not really. I'm sure you're a spirit, not used to physical contact. Kind of a pet peeve of mortals. So please stop. Please stop that. That is very uncomfortable.
If you want to find friends, feel the world around you, much like Tato with his wind.
Feel the world around me. Okay. She's like tentatively starts like crouching down and like puts her hands on the ground. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it feels like stone.
The path isn't only of earth and stone, But as you saw with Tato, it is guided with air. And within these walls, the earth materializes into vines and bark, holding water as well, young Lingrong.
So she was already stupidly feeling around on the ground, and she
Yeah.
just kind of is like listening to this, still crouched, and so she reaches over to like the wall next to her and touches one of the vines.
I love it. Give me let me look at your sheet first. I don't think anything else here. I think this would be a push your luck.
All right. That's one of my +0 stats. So
Hey,
Oh,
it's one of your best, tied for your best stat.
mm-hmm. Kind of a big deal. Hey, 7.
Nice.
I
Right.
rolled 2 out of 5. Now we're talking.
So you're touching the wall, and I'm guessing you're trying to feel not just the vines from within, but the water within the vines from within the wall. So this is something that you've probably never tried before.
Nope.
Something that not much people in the era of the world we're in right now know about, but would probably be akin to like bloodbending. Very difficult. So what are you, once again, just tell me like what Lingrong is doing in the fiction besides, so she's touching the walls.
She's touching the vines, and I think it said literally that there is water in the vines. So I think she tries to like connect with that water in the same way that, she can feel the water within her bending pouch or satchel. She tries to feel it within the vine and feel if she can sense any like movement. I mean, bending water is all about like flow and movement and push and pull. And so I think instead of trying to push or pull the water, she just waits for it to push against her or pull against her.
Yeah, and so I think, yeah, like you're searching for that, and you probably. So I don't think Lingrong. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but is Lingrong more so used to being like, oh, I see water, that's water, I know it's water, I can bend it? Is this like the first time she's had to like, oh, I need to like search for water, like that I can't even see from within this thing?
Yeah. I mean, like, again, she can pull water out of places where she knows that it is. That was sort of my point with the water satchel.
Okay, yeah.
But like, yeah, it is different. It is, the water moving through a living thing, which is sort of.
And this is very strange for Link because it's not just a vine, right? You can, as you feel and begin to bend the water in this vine, you feel its movement as well. And it's almost as if you're bending water within like a living being, right? As you feel like some push and pull from it as well. But you almost like forget your own strength as you feel a little bit of a pull from the vine, and you begin to pull back just a little bit. But you just pull it as it juts out a little bit from the stone wall that it was in.
Oh, sorry.
As once again, you hear that earth like creaking shriek around you as you see Wrong, the spirit, which I think obviously we need the spirit is Wrong.
Yeah, she forgot his name.
That as well. As you hear that groan again.
Sorry. That was an accident. It was an
as
accident.
You see it recede back into the mist.
Oh, wait. I didn't get it right.
And then you hear a rumbling again as the mist clears, and you just see Wrong just going towards you.
She runs. She runs away.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Just
as for the first time you see this like mouth-like figure in that moth like open up wide as it's making that same shrieking like wood creaking sound that the earth around you is making. But yes, you said you run, so we cut back.
cool.
Sorry, Sacho, you have just seen your two friends plummet.
Wait, Daniel.
Yes,
I asked a powerful figure for guidance.
you did ask a powerful figure for guidance, so you can go ahead and clear. Is it troubled?
Yep.
Yes, you can clear troubled.
That's one down.
I love it. I love it.
One to go.
But Tato, what do you do after you're seeing your two friends just plummet into the darkness?
So Teto's cradling Yemsen and is checking up on her, and then it all goes down and they plummet down there. So he's going to still with her in his arms, he's going to see if he can crane over and see what's like, see if he can see anything. And he's going to say, Haru, May.
And your voice echoes as you shout that. And you hear for a little bit like the last of a few of like the pieces of like vine and wood like fall, like maybe hitting the walls. But besides the last of your voice echoing, you don't hear a response.
And he's going to shrink back and turn to Gemsen and say, I think we're alone. They fell. They're gone.
I think your friends will be fine, Tacho. As she tries to get herself up, I think we just need to push forward.
I hope that's I hope that's the right course of action. Is that what you think we should do?
I can't see another way. Everything in here happens for a reason, Tato. I think that your friends are on the path that was meant for them.
That path is a hole in the ground? I mean, if you say so. I think I saw something while it was up in the air. It was like smoke coming from further down the path that way.
All right. I mean, it could very well be a ghost tiger camp, or it could be, like I said, one of the other Balu spiral incursions. Nonetheless, we should investigate.
I think that's a good idea.
All right. As you travel forward, you turn, and much like the pit was, as you're turning down these paths, the vines from the walls are more and more like engulfing the path that you're supposed to be taking. It's to a point where Gyemsen is having to, with her one working arm right now, to almost slice at these vines that are jutting out with air bending to clear away. But it's getting harder and harder for her as it gets to a point where the vines are just so thick and Gyemsen is so weak that at some point she just collapses again.
Teto will go to her, and I don't think I've seen. I think the winds are telling me to keep going this way, but these vines are in the way. How?
I'm sorry, Tacho. I'm too weak. I cannot.
You were
Have
doing
you? Yes.
it. How can I help?
Have you used your airbending in such a way before? In the way that you've seen me?
I see what you're doing. It's like you're using air like a blade. I've never done that before. I haven't had a reason.
I have full faith in you, Teto, that you can do this. And at this point now, like it almost seems dark where you are. Where like this point of the maze you're in, you almost forget that you're in this like maze of like stone walls because you're just in like this thick like jungle like brush. As Gamson says, you have this in you. I believe in you. Just follow after me. As Gamson has helped herself up, slowly just going through the forms that you saw her using to slice through these vines. You see she has these like open, like it's open hands, like her hands are almost like blades, and the wind is almost like the extension of her hands, almost like one would use a blade, as she's asking you to follow after her.
Teto takes up the stance behind her and positions his body and starts to imitate her moves.
I love it. And yeah, and you can visibly see Gimson struggling, but she's just hopped into this role of training you to do this. So I'm gonna do a training move. When you spend time with a teacher learning and training in a new technique, roll with modifiers from the following questions. Teto, is your balance in line with your center, or are you free of conditions?
Yes, and yes, I'm both of those things.
Nice. So you take +1. Do you and your teacher share at least one background? I think yes, because you both have monastic.
Yes, we are both airbenders, and I mean, like, is she bald too? Because Teto's pretty bald.
Yeah. She's bald with like the, doesn't Yang-Chen have like a single like tail?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what
Running
that's
out of it.
called.
Yeah, I don't know either. Yeah,
It's like an extreme mullet.
I think
Love
that's
it.
what the airbenders call it. Yes.
extreme mullet.
Extreme mullet.
So the next question is, does your teacher agree with your reasons for training and learning?
To slice
I
through the undergrowth?
I think Gamsen's reasons go deeper than this. I think Gamsen sees you and sees your potential and isn't just teaching you this to slice through undergrowth right now. I think she's teaching you this so you have like a weapon in your back pocket to use when the time comes that you have to use it,
I think that Teto is ostensibly learning this to get through the pathway, but there is a deeper seated something inside of him that, after hanging out with Haru and Ling and Mei, again, maybe he needs an edge. Maybe if he's going to be on a journey with these people who are like capable of violence, maybe he needs to also be that. So he's been thinking about that for a little bit. So, but he's also still telling himself it's just to cut through vines.
I love it. So would you say then that
I would say it's like an unspoken understanding. It's like, yeah, we're doing this one thing, but also we know that it's for something deeper.
okay, and I think is Teto like fine with that?
Don't ask Teto that. He's fine with it. Who knows? He's a teenager.
So, yeah, I don't think we'll get a -1 for that. But I think the technique isn't easy to grasp based on your current training experience or skills. I don't think you've ever used airbending for something like this before.
That's fair.
So I think that will be a -1. So that just brings it to a +1. So go ahead and roll 2d6 and add 1 to that.
I got a 6 and a
Oh, a 6 on 1 die? Sorry, what was that? What was your total?
6 and a 1.
A 6 and a 1, +1 for an 8. All right, so on a 7 and 9, it either takes more time than normal, or you must mark 2 conditions.
I think I'm going to mark some conditions.
All right, I love it. I love
I
it.
think
I love it.
troubled makes sense.
I like that.
And I think afraid also makes sense. So he's doesn't like the idea or the prospect of violence, and he's afraid of what that violence might do.
I love it. And so I think what we see as the audience is, for a moment, Gimson in front of you, teaching you this motion of like taking your hand and slicing it through the air. And at some point, she's too weak to stand and do it, but you've got the form down like enough, right? And for like a while, it's just you slapping air against these vines. But Gamson, nevertheless, is still like just keep going. You can do this.
Yeah, and I think
And at
Teto is going to keep going, and like he's going to go faster and faster and get a little bit more frantic and a little bit more frantic as chunks of vine hopefully start to come away in front of him.
Yeah, and I think the more that like you let go of your calm and like chill demeanor, the more effective it is, as you find yourself beginning to slice through these vines, much like Jansen was before. Go ahead and add the technique Gale Slice to your list of techniques under Learned.
Thank you, Danny.
Yes, you're welcome. So yeah, we see a huge smile on Kiemsen's face as she sees this and stands up and begins following you through this thick jungle brush. And we cut. We see just a scene of black as we are just in the point of view of May. May, you look around and you just can't see anything around you. You barely, like, you just now, as everything starts coming back to you, you remember falling. But you're all on your feet, standing in just this pitch blackness.
Haru? Teto?
You hear a slight response, like a May. It seems to be echoing around you. At first, it sounds like the voice of Haru or the voice of Teto. At first, it even sounds like the voice of Ling.
Mhm.
As this voice gets closer, you hear May. When in front of you, just almost like at first you see this blurry figure of, but it becomes clear. You see the image of your father. Is May? Is that you?
No.
Where am I?
Haru. Haru, can you hear me?
you're calling out. If you do ever like look back at your father, you see his head tilt a little bit as he like smiles at you. But you once again, you start calling out to Haru, but hear no response. Just your father saying, "May," as he begins walking slowly towards you.
Danny, I was wondering if I could unmark angry because I did put someone else in danger when I burnt Kiam-san.
Yeah. Yes. I like that. You can do that.
All right, cool. So now that I have that marked,
Yeah, angry, break something important, or lash out at a friend. I mean,
well,
Kiam-san's pretty important.
It says here, like, clear by breaking something important or put others in danger. Is that the same thing that you have?
So I have lashing out a friend, but I think
It
I'll
is
let you
lashing
pick
out a
this
friend.
one. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I should still keep it marked then, because I haven't lashed out or broken anything.
Break something important.
Because on here it says put others in danger.
Yeah, so I think also because that was a result of that was a jam move on my part as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think that Monroe as May would have to be like, I'm gonna break this bust of one of the avatars, or I hate you, Haru, and like slap him or something. You know,
Clearing conditions should have a pretty significant narrative effect.
it shouldn't just have a significant narrative effect. It should be something that you choose to do as as a player character,
and
rather
often
than
and often against what is quote unquote best for the party.
Mhm.
Yeah.
For
Well, I just
instance,
keep
Lynn
it.
got declared troubled because she stayed for the creepy snake thing.
Mm-hmm.
See if it would help her.
No, that makes sense. It's just that it says something different on my end with when it comes to clearing.
Oh yeah, we gotta fix the sheets.
I just
So-
Yeah.
I have to.
like
just-
I get all that. So and have angry and guilty marked. So for guilty, does it also say on your end, Danny, clear by making a personal sacrifice to absolve your
Yep.
guilt? Okay.
Yeah, so that one's
So
correct.
it's
And
just-
insecure should be correct as well. Take full hardy action without talking to your companions.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll still keep angry marked for the sake of what you have on your end.
I love it. Yeah, if Haru were insecure, he would definitely be able to clear it because he jumped into a dark hole without even thinking about it. But back to where we were. Yes, your father, or rather the figure of your father, begins walking towards you. As the smile on his face slowly begins to fade, as you see him just begin to frown. Like he has this angry look on his face. As you see the form of his face begin to melt away, almost like his eyebrow begins to just slog and just drop a little bit. As his frown gets deeper and deeper, he begins to sob. As he puts his hands in front of his face and almost like claws at his face, as the features of his face melt away. And through the sobbing is almost like ear piercing. Like you instinctually, you have to like almost raise your hands up to your ears because he's just sobbing, just maniacally. As he stops and you see standing before you the form of Faye. Monroe, I want you to go ahead and describe what Faye looks like.
She looks a little bit like me. She used to have the same color hair as I, but she no longer has that. So right now what I see is something more dark. I look a little bit more like my father. And she looks a little bit more like the mixture of both our parents.
Okay.
So there are pieces of her that look like my mom. But in the eyes, there's something wholesome that's missing.
Hmm. And you see her smiling at you as she says, "Oh, how weak you always were, May. Too weak to fight me. Too weak to protect father. Too weak to save your little earth sages."
And I just close my eyes and I say, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real.
As suddenly you feel just a pain on the back of your neck. As you open your eyes, you see Faye has stepped up towards you and grabbed the hair on the back of your neck and like just like pulled your head back a little bit to get you to open your eyes. And she goes, "If you want to try to prove how strong you are, May, and stop being weak, run from that weakness, force it out of you, kill me if you're strong enough, if this is what you're really looking for." She lets go of your hair. "If you want real strength, come find me, May. I'm at the center of this singing path. Find me so I can finally kill you."
You know, Faye, if that was really you, you know I'd have no problem doing what you just asked. But this isn't you.
Whatever this is attempting to shift your balance towards force, May. So you have some choices here. You can either just do it, shift your balance towards force, or you can resist. You can resist.
I'm 100% resisting. I'm not going to attack this thing because I know where my sister's at and I know that she's not here.
I love it. So roll. You just roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just roll 2d6. Let me see something real right quick. Okay, you are not troubled. So yeah, you just roll.
Okay.
You just roll 2d6 and the raw results.
It's a 5.
Okay. So on a miss, they know just what to say to throw you off balance. Mark a condition, and I shift your balance twice.
Let's say I'm troubled.
Yeah.
That's,
That makes sense.
I don't think I'm afraid and I don't think I'm insecure. I just,
Yeah.
but
And I went ahead and shift your balance for you, so you're now at +2 force.
yeah.
I think Faye just reiterates that once again. I think she's searching within you, and I think she finds that I think there is a part of you, May, that does like want to get stronger, that does. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're really good at like if you were to be confronted by Faye, you would be like, oh yeah, no, like
Oh yeah.
I'll like put you down. But I think there's a part of you that is like, I also need to get strong enough so I can actually do that,
Yeah.
And whatever this is, even if it's not Faye, and I think in your heart that this isn't Faye, but I think there's a part of you that like responded to it like it was. But even if it's not Faye, you do feel something within you that there is something powerful at the center of the spiritual site that you can use for that moment when you do finally confront your sister.
So maybe perhaps like when she says that, I just ball up my fist of fire to kind of show that like obviously she's getting to me, or this spirit
Yeah.
or whatever it is getting to me, but I haven't exactly given into it. But if she's gotten this far, there might be a little sliver of opportunity for her to get further.
I love it. As this form of Fae just begins to laugh in response to that, as she just her laughter becomes more and more maniacal as she begins to almost catch fire like she's paper. As her form just slowly begins to just zoom out from you and just just zoom away as you just hear that laughter echoing in your head. And as if you were to like blink or like just like shake yourself off, you would find yourself in the maze.
Do I see Haru anywhere?
You do not.
And so I just call out to him like, Haru, Haru, can you hear me?
I love that. So we're gonna cut, but we hear as the audience, we hear May calling out Haru. Haru, as you hear that echoing as the scene shifts. Haru, you find yourself in this like it seems very similar to the maze, but it's very dark. Like you feel like you're underground somewhere. You and when you did come to, you came to on the floor, like prone. So you had to like lift yourself up, but no, May is nowhere to be seen around you.
May, where are you? May.
As your voice just bounces against the walls of this maze, and somewhere down one of the hallways, you once again hear the sound of a biwa being played.
I'll slowly stand up and start walking towards the sound.
I love it. I love it. And it's, mind you, it's very dark.
Yeah.
You don't really have a source of light.
Slowly.
But
Just
as
sort of like feeling around the walls as well,
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, I think as you're slowly following the source of sound, like you feel like the hallways turn, but eventually you turn down this corner and you see light in the distance.
And I'll make a run for it. May!
Yeah, and if you make a run for it, you're quickly met with this wooden door that's lit by a single like sconce above it. I forgot what they're called. Is that what they're called?
Sconce.
Yep,
It's a little-
sconce. Yeah,
The wall.
yeah, above it.
Trembling, he just grabs the handle and turns it.
As you turn it, sitting at this low round table with nothing but a single lit candle in the middle, you see an unsettlingly familiar face playing a biwa. Hello, Haru. Oh, wait. You're not Haru. You're not Haru at all, are you? As Haru smiles at the living weapon standing before him. Justin, describe what we as the audience see. What does this person look like?
Yeah. It's almost like you're looking at identical twins. So both of them are more like on the slight side of build. But you know, they're wearing like a gray and black tunic. They've got the biwa slung around their shoulder. Really like close shaved haircut. And like what are basically like sunglasses, like round sunglasses.
And he smiles as he continues to play the biwa.
You're not here. You can't be here.
Were we friends, Haru?
You were the first person that ever did anything kind for me.
Would you call me your friend?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe. I don't.
Then why'd you leave?
It was your idea, Haru.
Do you have any idea what I'm going through here?
Yeah.
What they're
Yeah.
doing to me?
Oh, I've got an idea.
So this is what you do to your friends, huh? What was your plan, Haru? What, jump after May, the both of you die? Why'd you do it in the first place? Is she your friend? No, you don't have friends, Haru. A sword has no friends, only a wielder and its victims.
Stop it! No!
So tell
No,
me,
I'm more than
Haru,
that! I'm more than that.
May, Teto, Linkrong, are they your wielders or are they your victims, Haru?
I don't know. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to hurt anybody anymore.
Maybe they're only using you, Haru, like you're so used to, until you're no longer of use. Are you just going to let that happen? Or are you going to take control of your own path, choose your own duties, mark your own destiny? I'm attempting to shift your balance towards control.
That's fair.
Yeah. Wait, does Nick have a disagreement?
I don't think any of that was fair, but whatever.
No, okay.
No, I meant from the meta GM standpoint.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's fair. Okay. I see. That is fair.
Do you do it or do you want to try to not do it?
I think with where Haru is at now, having had that connection with Teto and May, I think he would resist.
All right. So roll.
That is a 9.
All right. So on a 7 to 9, choose one. Clear a condition or mark growth by immediately acting to prove them wrong. Shift your balance towards the opposite principle, or learn what their principle is if they have one. If you already know, take +1 forward against them.
Ooh. So let's shift my balance. Okay, shift my balance. No, I'm gonna mark growth.
Nice.
And the tears, the like fear stops, and he just kind of sits on the ground for a moment, and then he looks up. Haru, because of you, I have had the opportunity to have friends for the first time in my life. They have shown me that there is good and hope in this world. And that's because of you. I think about you every minute back in that Fire Nation Palace. And I promise you, I know you're not real, but I promise you, I am coming back for you. I'm not going to leave you there. I'll save you.
And I think at this where Haru like almost seemed like angry and mad at you, his angry expression fades, as you see him begin to breathe more heavily as he drops a biwa and just starts crying.
And Haru will stand up and sit down next to this figure and just give him a hug.
I love it. Yeah, as he hugs you back and he's just crying as his just face is just nuzzled into your neck and you feel the tears. It all feels incredibly real.
I'm coming. Not much longer. I'm sorry.
Ling, you just find not Ling, sorry, May. No, wait, Ling. You just find yourself running through this maze when you're so incredibly taken aback. I think you've been running for a while, right? I think at this point, like, the mist is cleared and you're running for a while, and they get to a point where, like, all right, the rumbling has stopped, but you find yourself stopped in your tracks as just in like a wall right next to you, you hear the voice of Haru crying.
Haru? Hey there? Is that you? She starts knocking on the wall. I can't really bend earth.
As Haru, you come to, and you wake up to the sound of the muffled voice of Ling and knocking right next to you, and you find yourself almost in like a fetal position in this incredibly small space.
Ling?
Yeah, are you all right?
Honestly, no.
Wait, it's open now? Sorry.
No, Haru's in the wall.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I just,
Pull the wall down.
Yeah.
oh, okay, all right, there we go. I'm just
And yeah, as you pull the wall down, you fall out because you're like compressed in this like small space, and so you just fall out onto the floor.
Oh,
What happened? She like bends. Were you trying to like hide in there, or did something put you in there?
No, I jumped into a pit to try and save May, and I guess that's where I ended up.
She like looks into the hole and tries to like look up.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
No, it's like solid stone. Yeah. Well, I hate this place. This place sucks.
I'm all right with this place. It's showing
All right.
things that need to be seen, I feel like.
I do not feel that way. But I digress. Do you know where to go? A giant, really creepy creature with like a moth for a head and a giant snake body came up to me and said that I needed to feel my way through the maze. And then it chased me for like an hour. And now we're here.
Well, I don't quite know how to respond to.
I think it meant to like use bending to like sense where to go.
Oh, I
But
meant
I-
the giant moth snake thing.
Oh
That-
yeah,
That
I'm
part
pretty
makes
sure
sense to me.
Oh, okay. The moth snake thing, I believe, is like the principal spirit of this place or whatever.
Wrong, right?
What?
Wrong.
Oh,
Right.
that's right. Its name is wrong. I made a joke about it. I totally forgot. I spaced. I'm gonna be honest. The moth thing, I was like, oh, that's nice. That's kind of inviting. Maybe there's like a snake and a moth. No, it's one creature. Horrible. I'm gonna have nightmares for the rest of my life. Did not like any of it.
Sounds creepy, but what you just said gave me an idea. Danny, I'll put my hand on the wall, and I'll see if I can pick up any like vibrations.
Oh, whoa! Much like a future Earthbender.
I'm picking up good vibrations.
Yes, the
real Earthbender.
Is that the Beach Boys?
Yeah. That's
For the Beach Boys, were the Beach Boys Earthbenders? Were they Sandbenders?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, why were they spending so much time on the beach? You know,
You're so right. You're so right. Give me what? Let's see. What do you have? Thing is, like, I feel like if you had like seismic sense, this would be a
So-
assess situation. But I think
I'd like to flavor it just a little bit because I don't want it to just be seismic sense.
yeah.
Right? I think what it is a little bit more akin to the metaphor that's sticking in my head is how the sandworms in Dune like sense vibrations in sand. I think that's more what it is.
I like that, and I also think that it's not so much that you're like using your earthbending to like seek something out.
Yes,
I think it's more so that you're trying to listen to the earth.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I'm just listening for that step, that like that movement. Yeah,
I like it. I think, and also, Lingering's here to help if need be. I think that this.
I didn't want to like derail the scene that we were crafting, but like,
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to bend. I literally explicitly said I wasn't trying to bend the water. I was just trying to feel it.
Yeah.
And sort of feel the flow within the living being.
Mm.
And it was cool. What happened? It's all good. Can I try again? And also remind you that technically I succeeded. I rolled a 7, so I should have succeeded at what I did. There just also should have been a cost.
So what you're saying was feeling the water and following that. So you're,
so
you're
I
able
did
to do
get
that.
a sense of where I should have gone.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. I was not clear on that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I just felt like a straight up failure. I was like, all right. It's still kind of cool though. So whatever.
So yeah. So you're still able to feel it, but
you're so used to failing, Nick.
I know. I was like,
you just kind of took it.
Feels like a failure I don't get a growth for, but whatever.
But for Haru, I think I want just an assessor situation.
That makes sense.
I think so.
It's creativity. I'm not terrible at that. That's an 8.
Okay.
So my question is going to be,
Who dis?
Who's this?
You up?
Hello?
It came out immediately.
My question is going to be what?
What? No, my question is going to be, I think it's got to be, what's my best way through?
I love it. And I think, rather than me as a GM just answering you, I think what happens in the fiction is you feel those good vibrations in the wall. And where Tato following his wind, it was almost like the wind was like pushing him in a direction. You feel like that the correct direction is to go in the direction that these vibrations are coming from on the walls. And I think Ling, as you see Haru do this, to also help, you can also, like, because you've done it before, you know what you have to do, you can also feel the water. Feel the water in the vines. She doesn't?
She's been turned off
scared?
the whole idea.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, you have a heading.
This way, I think. It's feeling. But
Hey, whatever you're feeling, it's got to be better than whatever freaking happened when I tried. So, to be clear, I tried to feel the water and the vines, and then the moth snake thing tried to eat me. I think. Honestly, who knows? There was a lot of screeching. It really doesn't. Something, maybe the spirit, maybe the plants themselves, something really doesn't like it when you mess with the vines. So just try not to do that. I've been trying not to step on them. Just don't touch the vines.
All right. We have to remind me. She burned some down earlier.
Okay, see that? Definitely not a good idea.
Yeah. Now I'm getting that. Anyway, this way, and I'll start walking. I'll also pull out the biwa, and as we're walking, I'll just be like, "I'm picking up good vibration."
I love it. And yeah, I think we quickly cut to May just wandering through the maze, as on the other side of a wall next to you, you swear you hear Haru playing the biwa and singing.
They can't be really them. They can't be really Haru. They can't.
It can't really be the Beach Boys.
There's no way the Beach Boys are here in the singing path.
Wait, I love that. Do you do
Today
anything?
is the day we get to meet.
I just think, yeah, I think I just keep walking.
I love
Like,
that.
they can't be Haru.
And yeah, we see an overhead view of May like stopping for a little bit, just like nodding her head no, and just keeps walking as us the audience see Lingrong and Haru walking in one direction, and just past the wall, May walking in the other direction.
That's so funny.
I love it. I love it.
This is the most effective party we've ever had.
I love it. Let's cut back to Teto as you're just slicing through these vines, just willy-nilly cutting all these vines. Surprisingly, no shrieking happening, but you find yourself clear of this like thick, like jungle-esque, like brush, like section of the maze. As you're very tired, Gamson's very tired because it's even tiring her to walk right now because half her body got burned. But you find yourself like instinctually like keeping silent because in the distance, you are going in the direction that you saw the plume of smoke. You hear what seems to be like commotion, like voices speaking, a little bit of laughter. It seems to be almost like a little bit in the distance down a pathway, and like just a turn of a corner away.
It's the sound of laughter.
Yeah, like you hear like the sound of like people like talking. Not like a lot of people, maybe like a small group. Where Gamson goes, I think that's them, Teto.
Yeah, let's go see. And so he's going to start ahead. Maybe he's a little bit in front of Gamson, who is lagging a little bit behind.
I love it. You start going. At one point, Gamson pulls you to stop as she just is so weak and she just kneels on the floor. I'm sorry. I'm so weak, Teto.
Okay, are you going to be okay? Do you want to stay here for a second? I'll just go around the corner and see who it is, and like if it's Haru or May or Ling. Hopefully it's Ling, and she can heal you.
All right. But Teto, as Gamson pulls you closer to her, like just face to face with her, if it's the ghost tigers, you need to wipe them out.
Teto's gonna just back away from her. He's not gonna be committal in this. He's like, I'm gonna go get you help.
You don't understand, Teto, the things that they've done to this site. How they've hurt wrong, how they've hurt the Balu spiral. Teto, they've killed air nomads.
I should go see. I'll be careful.
What do you expect to do if it is the ghost tigers?
If I'm careful, maybe they're not going to see me, but you're hurt and that could be Ling.
If that's them, not Ling, not your friends, if that's the ghost tigers around the corner and they see you and you don't do what is necessary, not only will you die, but they will kill me. They will find your friends and they will kill them. You need to do what it takes, Teto, to protect your friends. And sometimes that means making the hard decision. Gamson's attempting to shift your balance towards survival.
Teto looks at her and says, I understand what you mean. And he will take the balance shift.
Okay. Nice. I love it. So yeah, so what does that put you at right now? Nice. Yeah. As Gameson nods as she just sits down against the wall. Almost closes her eyes a bit, almost like she's just been waiting to just sit and rest for so long. What do you do?
Techo's gonna sneak up to the corner. They're just around the corner.
Yeah, they're like a down a ways a distance and around a corner. And you're trying to be like sneaky?
Yeah, he's gonna be super sneaky.
Okay.
Like
I think
really
being
sneaky.
an airbender,
Very sneaky.
like airbenders are being an airbender, I think you're really good at just like making yourself like win and not known. So give me a roll on your skills and training.
It's a 3.
Okay. So you go and you turn around this corner.
Oh wait, I forgot to add my focus. Which is 0.
Nice. So a 5.
Fuck,
Oh,
that's
okay.
no.
crazy.
So-
Your focus is +7.
Plus 0.
You go and you turn this corner and you see like for the first time like a like broken section of the maze, like where it's basically just been just like pure maze, if not for that pit or like the jungles, but there's always just been like these like connected walls just jutting into these paths and turns. But for the first time you see that the maze walls are like rubble, like turned to like rubble, like broken, and there's like this clearing made in the maze. As in the center of it you see a campfire, some tents set up, and you see several figures sitting around this fire,
Friendly
talking,
figures.
laughing. Some of them are sharpening weapons.
My friends. Are they people I recognize?
You don't recognize any of them.
Are they friendly?
As you're
Which
Did it
of your
smell
friends use weapons?
May, Haru, Lingmong.
Is it Mei and Haru and Ling Hung with weapons?
no, these figures, their faces are like painted, like decorated. They're painted to look like, you can tell like they're painted to look like scary. Some of them have like face paintings of like various animals. Most of them have face paintings of various like big cats, like leopards, panthers, tigers.
I'm glad you said that was
As-
supposed to be scary because I was like, that's so cute.
I know. I needed to make. I was thinking about that too, and I was just thinking about Jing Min looking like a raccoon, and I was like, all right, so, they look scary.
I mean, some
As
people
you're-
use makeup to make themselves look really pretty.
I love it. But as you're walking, still trying to be sneaky, especially more so now since you know that these aren't your friends. A very strong gust of wind comes up from the pathway behind you and just blows into the direction of the camp, drawing the attention of them as they all turn and look. As one stands up from the opposite side of the fire that you're on. You're still pretty far away from this camp, so they can barely see you. But you see this person stand up. As you see them put something on their hands, as they seem to be these like claw weapons. And everyone else is just sitting down as this person's standing up looking at you as this person begins walking towards you.
And they're scary looking.
Yes, they're scary looking. As they begin getting closer, and as you come into like more clearly in their view. You see them start to run as they wave their hands around them, and you see a ball of air form as they launch this ball of air right at you.
Wait, they're airbending at me?
Someone has airbent at you.
I think this is all too much for Teto. He's gonna run away.
Oh no! As you turn to run away,
good, very bad.
do you run back towards where Gimson was?
I think it's more interesting if I don't. Well,
Okay,
maybe Teto is
So maybe this will help
recognizing that
because as you turn to run away, all the rest of the individuals at the camp also stand up and begin running after you.
Yeah, I think Teto understands that Gimson is injured and he's not gonna want to hang around. Not gonna want to lead them to her when she's weak, and then also he's feeling a little bit ashamed because she was talking about doing some fighting and he's said he understood, but he didn't say that he was gonna do it, and he's feeling a little bit ashamed.
I love it.
Of that.
Yeah, so you turn to run away. The rest of the individuals at the camp turn to run after you. The person who was already in the process of chasing you and had airbent at you, as you turn to run away, begins, much like Yamson was, like stepping up and up from either side of the wall using airbending as they completely clear the top of the wall, and they're now just like air stepping above the top of the maze walls as you're just trying to run from them and lose them.
Danny,
and
can
we'll
I
cut.
clear afraid?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, because you ran from difficulty or danger. Yes, you can.
These are airbenders too? Oh my gosh.
At least that one was an airbender. The rest of them
what
you
they
see
say
that
about
have
airbenders.
weapons.
Where there's one airbender, there are 1,000.
Where there's one airbender, there are thousands. So we'll cut there. There is one last thing I want to do just while we're here. Justin had pointed out in the private chat that it would make a lot of sense if he were to roll making amends from that conversation with Haru.
Yeah, I know.
And I think
Do it, Danny.
I
Come on.
I think so. I wouldn't have if I don't want to do it, I wouldn't have even brought it up.
Bring it up, just be like,
yeah.
no.
So let's go ahead
Justin's been cruel to you as a GM.
I
Right?
take
A little
offense to that.
revenge.
I have never been cruel. I have followed the narrative.
I've always been benevolent.
Did you, Danny?
so-
Did you know that Havoc was a clone until Justin dropped it on you?
Oh, I did. That was like a just in the moment thing. Also, spoilers.
For which show? Who knows?
Who knows?
I guess you'll just have to watch all of them.
The way I GM, I always like to surprise players. Like I always try and keep their
I as
backs.
well.
Whatever
I as
they
well.
send me, I'll keep that, and then I'll play with it. Because I
I
like.
hope that there is
surprising.
at least. I hope there is at least some things that were surprising tonight.
Oh yeah. Some emotional
But
conversation.
go ahead and read Making Amends.
Yeah, I've read it before, but once per session, when you've tried once per session, it has been like 6 in-session hours since I rolled this last time, so I feel like that's enough time in between.
I
to
think
roll
so.
it again.
Yeah.
When you've tried to prove that you are a different, better person through your actions, and I literally took an action to prove his statement wrong, so I think that tracks.
Mhm.
Take +1 for each yes. Did you make amends directly to a person you harmed? I think yes. I still think that counts. Even though it was
Even though it wasn't the
fictitious.
actual person, I think it
wasn't
does
the
count.
actual person. I do think that makes sense. I was at my center when that happened, which is my next question: is are you at your center? I was at my center when that happened. Did someone
pre-shift?
correct? So okay, so here's how it all went down. I wasn't my
Oh,
center.
because you grew. You
tried-
growth.
You tried shifting my balance. I marked
Yeah,
grow.
yeah,
and that growth I used to shift my
to connection. Okay, yeah. So you can take yes for that.
I was at my balance when that happened.
I completely missed the whole growth thing.
You're fine. I was going back and forth on what I wanted to do. Did someone honestly thank you for your efforts or forgive you for my mistakes? I don't think I can say yes to that.
No, yeah, I was gonna be like, I wonder if he has an argument for this, but I don't know.
I don't want to. I would be stretching. I don't think it would be right. So it's just +2 to this. I'm really hoping I get a 10 plus. Come on, baby. That's okay. That's kind of the opposite of what I was hoping for, because now I gotta massage this narrative a little bit. On a miss. Oh wait, it's just a hit. I rolled a 5.
Just
plus 2 is 7.
Yeah, 2 from okay, nice. Yeah. So you get to choose one.
You know what I think I'm gonna do?
You can choose. Never mind. Yeah, you can choose one.
Do you know what I think I'm gonna do?
Yes, Justin, do it.
Yeah. So I marked a growth, which means I get an advancement, and I'm going to use that to shift my balance. And I think I'm also going to choose shift my balance toward connection. Which is technically going to take me off balance and move my center towards connection again.
Yes.
Jesus.
And I think it's not too crazy. I think what
look at Nick.
No.
Is my companion just dying next to me? What is happening?
No. I think all that's changed, all that I think is really changed, is that when Ling Hung found me, it wasn't just like a couple of tears. Like Haru was just like downright crying.
She did not know what to do with that, so her reaction
stands. So nothing changed, and Haru wiped him away. And I think that's the best way to make it still make sense in the narrative with the mechanics.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. So then in that case, then I think May would have heard Haru crying on the other side of the wall and been like, that's definitely not
Haru. There's no way that's Haru.
But yes. That's where we're gonna end it. We'll have to see what the heck's the deal with the singing path next week.
What's the deal with the singing path?
What's the deal? Yeah. Tato, were you expecting someone to airbend at you?
No.
Tato, Sam?
Not at all. I really want to do growth and advancement because I feel like I've learned so many things.
Yeah, right. I love it. Justin, you got anything for the folks back home?
Come watch our Heroes by Hearthlight campaign on Sunday. Otherwise, we will see you next week.
Yeah, join our Patreon if you want to hear our latest episode.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I'm running it.
Yeah, Nick ran Root last night. It was incredible. We've only got one episode of that left. Patreon.com/Dustfire Media. Any tier gets you Nick's dulcet GM tones.
Even the I'm happy to be tier.
It's just $1 a month.
You can find out what woodland creatures these boys would be.
Yeah,
Monroe, if you were a woodland creature, what would you be?
I have no idea.
Apparently, I'm a stinky bat. So. Yeah, maybe that's the banter question for next week.
There we go.
All right. Well, that's all for now, folks.
Oh, I'll see you guys.
Okay, wait, that's enough of that. We don't need the actual mouse coming down on us. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.